do you think God's ultimately responsible for everything? So in a way, God is responsible for it. But then God would be responsible for Satan and evil then at the side. I don't know how you don't arbitrarily or not arbitrarily draw, or how do I want to say this? I don't get why we arbitrarily draw the line at, well, God's not responsible for the existence of Satan and evil, but he is responsible for all this death and stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't take that stance. I do take that God is responsible.
For evil? God like created evil?
No, God did not create evil. God is responsible for evil. Those are two different things.
So if he's responsible, then doesn't that make him morally culpable?
Yes, which is why he defeats it on the cross.
But wouldn't that make you, in a sense, guilty of the thing in question?
No, I think guilty means you proactively proactively acted upon it. You chose to make it happen. Being responsible is not.
But he created evil.
No, I didn't say he created evil. I said he's responsible for evil.
Okay. I don't
For
know how
example,
you're squaring that. Go ahead.
For example, I can adopt a child. I did not create the child, but I'm now responsible for that child.
Yeah, but I mean, we were talking, but you said he's responsible for evil. So,
Yes.
I mean, I feel like this is like, you know, the Boston Marathon bombers from like years ago.
No, I don't follow. Like, I know the story, but I don't follow the connection.
I haven't made it yet. I was just asking if you
Okay.
like, imagine if they argued in court that the bomb, like, I'm responsible for the bomb, but the bomb is actually what, like, flying shrapnel is what harmed all of those people, not us. I feel like if you're going to say God is responsible for evil, that's the same as those guys are responsible for that terrorist attack, even though by their direct hand, like in a very odd way, they didn't actually harm anybody, but they did. That's...
Yeah, so I don't think the analogy follows. I think the analogy more works along the lines of, like, let's say I'm building a device. My device is intended to do X, Y, and Z tasks out in society. I sell that device out in society. It does X, Y, Z in tasks. It's great. But for some reason, 1 out of my 10 devices randomly explode. I am now responsible for that random explosion that's happened.
Yeah, but you're not perfect. You don't know that that's going to happen, and God does.
Sure. So then this analogy, if we want to use all knowledge, let's say God granted me all knowledge, right? I'm the creator of the car. I keep forgetting his name, Ford. I forget his first name. Whatever his name, something Ford.
Henry.
Anyways,
well, he didn't invent the car, but yeah, Henry Ford.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Henry Ford popularized the car. I was given all knowledge about cars and what they would do. Through my all knowledge, I know the greater goods. I know the outcomes of creating cars. I know all the potential that's going to come from it. But I also know unnecessarily that people are going to use that car to try to drive and run over people. There is a certain responsibility that I take upon that. I have certain all knowledge, but I don't think I'm under obligation to say stop making those cars.
Could you run that one more time? I'm sorry.
So say God, I'm Henry Ford, I'm making cars. God gives me foresight of what everything that's going to happen with a car. I know for a fact. Okay. Now, I see all the great things that are to come. We're going to have trucking, we're going to have industry, we're going to have business, we're going to have people being able to commute, we're going to have people like all these great things that are going to come from it. But I also see unnecessarily that some people are going to use the car to do hit and runs, to run over their ex because they cheated on them, things like that. I think there is some form of responsibility that falls upon me for that. But at the same note, I don't think I'm under an obligation to say cease and desist or to change my plan that I'm moving forward with.
I mean, that's like that sounds like a utilitarian argument. We, like in the United States, like we know for a fact that if we dropped the speed limit by 10 miles per hour, we would reduce the number of fatal accidents that would happen. I'm pretty sure we could say with confidence that that would definitely happen. But people should have a degree of freedom, and people believe in dying for whatever freedom they want to express. And it could possibly also, like, it would literally slow down the economy because things would move. So are the potential goods offset by the benefits or whatever? But I really feel like in this scenario, you're not taking on that perspective that you are perfect and you do have foreknowledge and you do know how to do it without 10% of your cars randomly exploding or whatever. 10% would be way too high of a number, but
right. And that the argument that I'm making is that we have better goods that come from these possibilities of evil than we would have had if these possibilities of evil didn't exist in the first place. As a Christian, I go to this parable of wheat and the tares. Says that an evil man came in the middle of the night, planted tares amongst the wheat. The farmer says, the hands to the farmer say, should we go rip out the tares? The farmer says, no, don't do it yet, because if you do that, we're going to lose some of the wheat. Let it all grow to come to fruition. At the end, we're going to separate the wheat and the tares. We'll throw the tares into the flames and we'll harvest the wheat. Right? The parable tells us, right, that there is evil. There's terrible things that are going on. If we go remove it now, we're going to lose some of the good that we're potentially looking for. But at the end, all the evil will be defeated.
So you're saying you think that there's more good that happens in the world because evil is allowed to exist?
Because the potential of evil can exist. So, for example, we cannot have like the potential of self-sacrifice without the potential of death.
Yeah, it's just that 10 times out of 10, I would prefer that there was no need for anybody to sacrifice themselves. I mean,
that's a utilitarian view, though.
I don't think that's a utilitarian view. I think the utilitarian view would be the fact that the person did sacrifice themselves. It became a national story and it increased everybody's sense of like communityship and blah, blah, blah. And we were all like 9/11 brought this country together. I mean, for like a few weeks, I guess.
What I'm saying is you're making the argument that without reaching these higher potentials of good, you'd rather just have like a middle level of good. So it's just the maximum amount of pleasure, maximum amount of joy, suffering. I don't think you would argue that a selfless love is on equal level to just like a common love. I think you intuitively speaking, would say a selfless love is greater than like a common love.
Yeah, but there's no victim in a selfless love.
Well, so you can't have selfless love without the possibility of like victim. For example, like I can't selflessly act upon somebody without sacrificing something for myself for it to be truly selfless.
I guess in a way that sounds more like compromise than dealing with like actual like evil existing in the world or suffering or whatever. I think I had a thought just now and then you made me forget it. Something I was going to say about this.